Welcome to Worthy of Work, the podcast created for all of us who secretly question what is normal in a relationship. My name is Stephanie Rivard, and here we cover the healthy relationship skills no one taught us. Have you ever felt responsible to fix someone's emotions or situation? Like if they were upset, you couldn't relax, or if they were struggling, you had to jump in. Not just to help, but because it was so uncomfortable for you to witness their pain and their struggle. You might have been taught that this was empathetic, but what if it was something else? In today's episode, we're going to cover the difference between empathy and enmeshment and codependency. And as we sort out these differences, we can start recognizing if there are any unhelpful habits that we've been camouflaging as a virtuous act like empathy. So here's kind of a silly analogy, but I think it can help. Imagine it's a puppet show. Well, codependency would be like a puppet on a string. When they struggle and flail, you start to dance. You manage, fix, control, not just because you care, but because your well-being is attached to their well-being. You can't be calm and okay if they're not calm and okay. Enmeshment would be more like a sock puppet. Your identity and your emotions have been fused to someone else. So their situation and their emotional experience has become your own. And it's hard to notice the difference between where you end and they begin. Empathy would be like sitting in the audience. You are fully present. You care. You are recognizing the emotions and the situation they're going through. You feel with them and you realize it's not happening to you. You remain separate. You don't feel confused that this is your experience, nor do you rush the stage to rewrite the second scene. Here are a key difference. Empathy says, I'm here with you. Codependency says, I can't be okay unless you're okay. And enmeshment doesn't really say anything. They have just confused the identity and the experience with someone else. Where do these tendencies come from? Well, as infants, it's very natural to sense that our well-being is greatly attached to the well-being of our parents and caregivers. This makes sense because we're completely dependent upon them. But as we age and grow up, we're supposed to start experiencing some healthy detachment, some healthy interdependence, and start growing in our autonomy and separateness. But if this is disrupted for a number of reasons, then we take that early wiring all the way into our adult life. And they become kind of survival skills where maybe we are kind of the emotional thermostat in a room. We are assessing where is everyone's energy at and emotions at, making adjustments so that we can remain comfortable. That's not empathy. That is survival. And it prepares us for over-functioning in relationships and really drawn into enmeshment and codependent behaviors. And when we've learned codependency and enmeshment, it is next to impossible for us to feel peace when someone else is experiencing pain. Not, again, because it's empathy, but because we're hooked. We're hooked into their experience in an unhealthy way. And this destroys our freedom and sense of self. What can we do about it? Well, here's a few things to practice. You can begin by trying to untangle where you end and the other person begins by naming what's yours, naming your emotions. So we can start separating your emotions from theirs. And maybe we just start by saying, I feel overwhelmed. while watching them feel stressed. And that automatically reclaims some of your identity because we're noticing I am separate from them. Try detaching, which isn't the same as being indifferent. Detaching doesn't mean that we withdraw our love or stop caring, but it is saying I am separate, and while I care, I am not going to get sucked into this and drawn into fixing or be overly attached to what you decide to do. If you're struggling with your emotions or inactions or making decisions, I'm going to remain separate and grounded. Stay seated. Empathy doesn't mean you are solving something. You don't need to leap on stage, grab the mic, rewrite the scene. You don't have to fix anything for someone. Empathy means I can bear witness to your pain while not becoming your savior, your coach, the thermostat, or your shadow. It is, I care and I'm separate. If you're willing to journal about it, here's a couple questions. Where am I feeling for someone instead of with them? Have I been doing things for people, things they ought to do for themselves, but covering up and calling it caring instead of codependency? And what is one small thing you can do today to move out of enmeshment and codependency and try some healthy empathy? If this hits home, you saw a bit of yourself in this situation, you're not alone. These habits are learned skills to survive. The good news is that we can unlearn things too. I'm Stephanie. I believe that healthy relationship skills are teachable. And I think this is one of the best things that we can learn in life so that we can develop real healthy connections with people. If this episode has helped you, I ask that you would share it and subscribe to my page for more tools to help you build a healthy relationship. That's it for today's episode. If this resonates with you, please subscribe, share, or leave a review. It helps more people find this work. And remember, I'm not a therapist. I'm just someone who once thought dysfunction was pretty normal. I wanted better and learned new tools. And so can you.